Hey everybody, Kathy from Whole Home and Body Health here, and today I want to give you some quick tips about how to optimize your sleep while you're traveling or you're on the road or it's a busy, stressful time for you. So while I'm shooting this video, it's actually a couple of days before Christmas, and I am getting ready to get on a plane and go visit my family in Missouri. And I am thinking about how am I going to best be able to optimize my sleep when I'm crossing multiple time zones, when I'm in a busy, stressful holiday season, and there's all kinds of things going on. So this bag here, this cute little bag that my friend Amy handmade, very, very well made. This has everything in it that I have to use for sleep at night. So I just have this bag already ready to go. I throw it in my luggage and that's it. So you're asking, well, what's in the bag? I have multiple things in this bag, and of the most important is my eye mask. Holy smokes, I cannot sleep without my eye mask. So it is really, really critically important to block all possible penetrations of light in your bedroom. And of course, when you're traveling, you're staying in a relative's home or you're in a hotel, that can be very difficult. When you can't avoid all of that light in a room, wherever the room is that you're sleeping, an eye mask is critically important for that. So that will help to get rid of any light exposure coming in from windows, computers, TVs, electronics, whatever the light exposure might be in your situation. So the next thing I have in here is a little tincture of melatonin. Now, I'm not a huge fan of people taking melatonin every night. I don't think it's a good idea, because when you get that exogenous form of melatonin, then the body oftentimes will stop producing it on its own, and of course we don't want that. But I think using melatonin strategically can be very helpful, specifically when you're crossing time zones. So when you're getting on a plane and you're traveling and you're crossing multiple time zones, the body can get really confused about what time of day it is, where it's at in the world. The circadian rhythm, the body's own biological clock, can get really confused. So melatonin can be very helpful in that circumstance. Now, I like to microdose with melatonin. I don't like to take these big doses. I don't think that's a very smart idea, nor do I feel like it's very effective. But microdosing actually has some research behind it that the smaller the dose, the more impactful that the melatonin can be for some people. And that's why I like to have a tincture, because I can easily control the amount that I'm taking. If you have a capsule, it's a little bit more difficult. So in this tincture, looks like about 15 drops is equivalent to about 1 milligram. And I like to get about half to 3/4 of a milligram. So I might take 5 to 10 drops or so of this at bedtime. And this is really great to kind of retrain your circadian rhythm when you're crossing through time zones and get the body kind of back on track. Melatonin is actually also a good antioxidant. So I might actually take a couple of drops of this before I get on a plane, because when you get on an airplane, you are bombarded with EMF exposure, those electromagnetic fields, and that causes a significant amount of oxidative stress. So if I can take antioxidants before flying, that can really be helpful for any of that oxidative damage that's happening. And it's also a little bit calming. So it's another good trick of how to use the melatonin. But again, I'm not going to take this for more than a couple nights, and I'll have to do it again when I get back from my destination. And then that's it. I don't use melatonin regularly because I don't think it's a good idea. So what else do I have in my bag? I have a pen and a small notepad. So this is really important. So if you're one of these people that wakes up in the middle of the night and you start thinking, or you think about that task that you forgot to do, and then you can't get back to sleep because you just keep thinking about it because your brain doesn't want to forget it, this is a great place for a small notepad and a pen. So when this happens to me, I just write it down and I say, oh, I forgot to send that email. Done. And then I put it down. My mind knows that it's on the pad of paper now, and that I'm gonna take care of that tomorrow, or I'm gonna take care of that in the morning when I wake up, and I don't have to keep worrying about it while I'm sleeping so I can fall back to sleep much quicker and much easier. Okay, next I have a little box of supplements here. Now the supplements I have in here, one, I have stinging nettle. Nettle is fantastic to modulate any histamine responses that you have. So for me, I sometimes get a histamine response from certain foods. Dairy for sure gives me a histamine response. Fermented foods actually can give me a histamine response. So things like kombucha, yogurts, kefirs, any aged foods, so things like sausages, sometimes chocolate. These can all kind of make me be extra congested at night, or even the act of flying and traveling can make me very congested. When you're exposed to all these EMFs in the airplane, that actually can exacerbate a histamine response as well. So when you're traveling, if you ever get stuffy, you get kind of like allergenic symptoms and they amplify at night, taking some nettle at nighttime can be really, really helpful for sleep. It's also very rich in calcium and magnesium. So those are two very, very important minerals for sleep as well. So I have these in my bag. If I feel like I've been exposed, I'll take them before sleep. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night though, and I can feel it. I can just feel this congestion coming on. So I'll pop a couple of those right then when I'm sleeping, and that can be really helpful for me as well. So another supplement that I have in my box here is ashwagandha. I will take ashwagandha, sometimes I will take maca, or sometimes I will take schizandra. These are all adaptogenic herbs. They're all fantastic to help you manage your stress and your cortisol levels during times of excess stress, or during the holidays when there's a lot of activities and a lot of things going on, or just when you're traveling. So each one of these has a little bit different properties, and you're gonna have to maybe find the one that works best for you. But if you have never taken an adaptogenic herb before, ashwagandha would be probably my first suggestion, because it seems to work the best for the most amount of people. And so when you're stressed out, you can take that before bed. When you're really low in energy and you're kind of dragging, you can actually take it in the middle of the day or in the morning. So the way this works is like I said, it's an adaptogen. So it helps your body adapt. So when you've got low energy, it can raise your energy. And when your energy is way too high and you're too amped, it can actually bring you back into balance, helping you to settle down and helping you to sleep. So adaptogens are amazing. I highly, highly recommend them. Okay, what else is in my little bag of treats here? I have a Primal Kitchen coconut cashew collagen bar. So this, I have that in my bag because occasionally I'll have challenges with my blood sugar. And for me, when my blood sugar is not balanced, my sleep is very, very poor. It's extremely critical for me to make sure that my blood sugar is balanced all throughout the day. And when it isn't, and sometimes it's kind of challenging when you're traveling or when you're on an airplane, when I'm not really able to keep my blood sugar really balanced like I want it to, sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night. And I typically know when I wake up if it's because of blood sugar, because I'll feel very hungry and I'm a little bit irritable. And so this is where I might open this and have maybe half of this bar. It's got collagen in it, which is a great protein source along with cashews. And it's also got some fat from coconut and a little bit of honey for those carbohydrates. And that is very, very dramatically helpful for me to fall back asleep. So if I've woken up several times before, say 3 a.m., I pretty much know it's my blood sugar. I'll have half of one of these bars and then I fall back asleep and typically sleep through the rest of the night. So that is something to consider in managing your blood sugar and having a little bit of a snack on hand in case this happens to you. Okay, what's next? I've got lip balm. Traveling can really, really dry out your mucous membranes, and I get really irritated when my lips are really dry. It happens on an airplane, and along those same lines, I have a little spray bottle with some peppermint oil in there. So while traveling, or when I wake up in the middle of the night, this often happens, especially after you've been on a plane all day. You wake up in the middle of the night and your mouth is just dry. Of course, I'll want to have some water on hand, but a little spray bottle like that is really great to moisten the mucous membranes. And if I've got kind of a crappy taste in my mouth from being on a plane and traveling all day, it's actually nice and refreshing. So what do we have next? Oh, so very important. Earplugs. These are critical. So this is another thing. If I don't have my eye mask and I don't have my earplugs, game over. My sleep is going to suffer. So I love to have these earplugs for any kind of sounds. You know, you're in a strange environment, you're not at home, you're in a different place. There could be a neighbor's dog, people could be up until 3 in the morning. There's all kinds of stuff that could wake you up, and these light sounds are pretty impactful for me, and I typically wake up when I hear any excess noise from the environment. So these earplugs are absolutely essential. All right, and what do we have next? So this is an old iPod that I have that I rarely use, but I will use it for the time because I don't want to sleep right next to an alarm clock. The alarm clocks give off way too much blue light and they give off a whole lot of magnetic field. So you really don't want to be sleeping next to an alarm clock. So if there is one next to my bed, I usually unplug it or put it on the other side of the room. I have this on night mode, so it's actually on. You probably can't even see the screen because it's so dim. I've dimmed the light as much as I can, so if I have to look at the time in the middle of the night, I will check that out. Of course, this is in airplane mode. All Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, everything is disabled. It's not giving off any of that. But I have a couple of guided meditations downloaded onto here. So if I am in just a really extremely stressful situation and my nerves are just kind of frazzled, I can put some headphones in here and listen to a nice soothing meditation as I'm falling asleep, and it pretty much works every time. So this is a nice thing to have. You know, it's not a phone, so I'm not going to be picking it up. I'm not going to be tempted to look at my text in the middle of the night. Please don't do that. If you have any sleeping issues, the phone needs to be out of your bedroom completely. But having something like this for some nice soothing music or a nice little meditation can be very, very helpful. So that is it. That's all I have in my bag here. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that gave you some good tips on how to kind of manage your sleep while you're traveling or during the holiday season. Of course, if you've got any questions about this, please let me know. And stay tuned for the Sleep Easy method, where I'm going to dive very, very deeply into all of these things, plus a whole lot more. It's an 8-week online module that goes into all things sleep. So if you are challenged with your sleep, or you just have sleeping issues and you just don't feel as good as you want to, please check out that course. I've been getting some amazing feedback from it. I'll put a link below so that you can sign up on the VIP list. If you get on the VIP list, then that ensures that you get access to registration before anybody else so that you can save your spot, and it gives you a discount to the course and a couple extra bonuses. So as always, feel free to reach out to me, leave any questions below, subscribe to my channel so you can stay updated with all of these great health tips, and I will see you soon. Thanks. Bye.